What is up, everybody? This is Anthony with VR Game Rankings, and this, of course, is the daily vlog live. I believe this is episode 162. It is Sunday. It is July 29th. And you know what? Not a ton of major news on the docket, but we do have some things to talk about. As you can see right now, there is a Magic Leap video playing on the screen, shot via Magic Leap technology way back in October of 2015. Now, of course, that is not Magic Leap 1, but we do have a little bit of Magic Leap stuff coming up a little bit later in the show. So I thought I would have that trailer up there for a second, but obviously we are going to check out the HTC Vive subreddit. We're going to check out the Oculus Rift subreddit, PlayStation VR subreddit. We're going to check out Upload VR. We're going to check out Road VR. And then also everybody in chat. I mean, the big thing here, actually, you know what? I need to, hold on a second. I don't even know if I'm live because I haven't opened up my YouTube page. So let's see here. Am I even, oh, I am live. Yeah, it has 10 people watching right now, I think. Let me see. Am I live? Sorry about this, guys. I forgot to, didn't even open up a YouTube browser. Okay, yeah, so people do seem to be in chat right now, so that's good news. Okay, so we popped out chat. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, so we do have some people up in the building at this point in time. I have... actually, let me get my bigger chat window here. We have Tamudjin Gaming. Hey there, what is up, man? Always nice to see new people jump into chat. That's always interesting. We have Christian Jensen saying, hey, what is up, Christian? Fluke, Rogie, of course, he is a regular. Mention him quite a bit. He's almost like a celebrity in chat. Fluke, what is it like being a celebrity of chat? We got Steven Sales coming in, this time by phone. Steven is normally asking me what is up on the job search. Oftentimes Steven has asked me that, kind of curious about, am I living in the gutter or are things okay? Dave D is, how's it going? What is up, Dave? Roy Schwartz, very consistent, Roy, very consistently checking in, I believe from North Carolina. He is a Tar Heel, bleeds baby blue. We have Jay Billions. Hey, what is up? I actually haven't seen Jay Billions in a couple of streams. Jason H is here. Aw, Fluke. Yeah, you'll make me blush. Aw, how sweet. And so, yeah, you know, again, of course, not a lot of news. We are live. This is Sunday. And you got to realize that we do a live show every single day. And so we take every little tidbit of news that there happens to be and we kind of chew it up, spit it out. And, you know, when you get to Sunday, there really isn't much news left. But obviously, we do go to the Vive subreddits. We do go to the Rift subreddits. And we do get some... Yeah, I'm not... Tamudjin Gaming is saying, actually not new. Wrote to you 6 months ago that you have my support from Sweden. Yeah, I just mean new to the chat. Maybe you have been in chat, actually, and I just haven't noticed it. Some of these names. Yeah, I'm trying to get chat kind of, you know, squeezed in there. I want to be able to show as many current chat messages as possible, but when it updates, I want the updates to be, you know, to pop right up and be good right there. Okay, so let me go ahead and just do my intro trailer. I can't talk today. I am fumbling and bumbling. I made an intro trailer, so I guess I might as well run the intro trailer. Welcome everybody to VR Game Rankings Daily Vlog Live, episode 162, Sunday, July 29th. It is 2:05 p.m. Pacific Time, 10:05 in the UK, my home away from home. Definitely need to visit the UK. I really do want to go to the UK. I want to go to London. I would love to stop in Leicester and kick it with my boy Gary for a day or two. That would be super cool, just to kick back and relax. But I'll probably have my family with me going to London. and maybe other spots in the UK. I think I want to like fly to England and maybe visit England and Ireland, but not even worry about any, you know, regular mainland Europe. Like, don't even worry about that. Just enjoy England, maybe check out Ireland. I actually have Irish ancestry. My mom is like straight up full blood Irish, Sullivan. Well, not full blood, but she's very, very Irish. So, you know, I would like to check out Ireland at some point in time. And of course, London, England. Well, the rest of England as well. What is the next big destination if you're going to England besides London? That's a good question. Okay, so let's see here. All right, we did the intro. That's good. Now let's go ahead and switch up to something else. So you know what? I'm going to throw a trailer on right now that is this bolt action rifle, okay? And so I saw this thread. This was, I believe this is on the Oculus subreddit, and it's on the HTC Vive subreddit. I think it's a little more specific to the HTC Vive because you can see the guy, he is using Vive wands. And this is basically this bolt action shotgun. It says right here, available for 34.5 pounds on eBay. I don't know if this guy is like mass producing them and trying to make this a big thing. I think this is for Pavlov, which my buddy Mame Fan, you know, he gave me Pavlov recently. Yeah, works with any gun in Pavlov, Onward, and hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades. So a lot of people talk about these stock rifles, these pump rifles, and a lot of people swear by it and they're really into it. Look, it even has the rest for his like chin there. He's like resting it up against his like cheek and chin. That is pretty cool. You can pick one of those up. It probably would really enhance the experience. I really would like to see where would you put Oculus Rift controllers though, and integrate that as well. Would it work okay for the Rift, or is this pretty much a Vive specific kind of thing? But yeah, don't know if anybody in chat, do you guys care about this? Are you really into like Onward and Pavlov and hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades? Are you into those kinds of games where you really want to do this bolt thing and like really make it happen like this guy did? Roy Schwartz says, aim is best to me. Of course, yeah, if you have the PlayStation VR, you do have the aim controller, which, as long as it's a two-handed weapon, yeah, that should work pretty good. But the downside of the aim, you can't do that pump action that he's doing there. But the upside of the aim has rumble built into it, right? Can you guys believe I do not have an aim controller? I've never played Farpoint. That is another, oh, here we go. Here's some detailed information on it. Pump action, spring loaded, fully adjustable, lockable. Ah, man, I should have paused it on that little section there. But yeah, some good information there. You know, maybe this is the sort of thing that could get me more excited about stuff like Onward and Pavlov, to have this, and especially hot dogs, horseshoes, and hand grenades as well, because you really have those accurate gun mechanics. Paradise Decay is checking in. Tom Lloyd is checking in. Jay Billions. Let me see if anybody in chat is saying anything about these pump action rifles that people make. Will Tesler is saying standout is awesome, and I know that Tom Lloyd really agrees with that statement because he works for the developer. Not just kidding. But I know Tom Lloyd loves Standout. Yeah, there he is. I can't agree more about Standout. So are people using these kinds of builds, these kinds of mods for their controllers to play Standout as well? I wonder if that's going on. MG says, at VR Game Rankings, when do you think the PS5 will happen? We actually talked about that in the stream yesterday. We were talking about when is the real next generation for headsets going to happen on the Vive, the Rift, PSVR, and obviously the PS5 is a major factor with that for PSVR 2. My prediction at this current point in time, PS5 November 2019, probably $500, $499.99 for the PS5 November 2019. Unfortunately, no PSVR 2 day and date Would really love it, but I think we're actually going to have to wait one more year, which does suck. So November 2020, PSVR 2. That's my current predictions at this point in time. Tom Lloyd says those add-ons aren't cool in my eyes. HH3 is a single-player game, but it's cool. Yeah, okay, here's no occlusion, simple to use, lightweight and extremely durable, competition-winning design, adjustable harness. You know what, though? Honestly, I would rather buy that off of eBay than try to make it myself, because I'd probably screw it up. So I would buy this on eBay, but I'm not sure. Maybe in the price, do you have to assemble the whole thing, or does it come pre-assembled pretty much? If it comes pre-assembled and you simply put your Vive controllers in there, you move it around, you know, you got your chin, you got your shoulder strap. Kind of a cool idea. I just have this trailer playing really because every day when I start this show off, I kind of just have to have a trailer running. And so I went ahead and started with this. I don't want to start with my lead story because, you know, people are checking into chat. People are a little bit late to the game. Like Lethal Weasel VR is a little bit late. Steven Sell says, tried making a PVC stock, never worked right with touch. Yeah, touch, I almost feel like the Vive wands are better suited for this, really. You know, the Vive wands might be better suited for this because touch, yeah, the integration could be a bit difficult there. MG says everything that enhances the immersion is welcome. It just needs to not be too expensive. Well, you know, $34.50 in pounds is probably like $50 American. I mean, that would just be my random guess there. You know, like $15 more in dollars. I don't know. But I'm sure we could order that. Well, I guess we'd have to order it from UK, and the shipping would be kind of outrageous. UK eBay. Okay, so why don't we go ahead and move on to the next story here. We've seen enough of the pump action, and so this has been a hot topic that has been going on the two subreddits. I'm talking about the Vive subreddit and the Rift subreddit. Blade and Sorcery, I believe, is what this is called. And basically, we had this YouTuber the other day kind of bragging about how he believes that this game, Blade and Sorcery, which is an upcoming game, doesn't have a Steam page. I don't believe we have a release date for it. I think it's made by like one dude, a French dude, I believe, or a very small team. And the key factor with this game is this guy says that the melee combat with this game just kills everything in VR. Supposedly, the melee combat kills everything. Now, right now, Gorn is probably our leader. And watch this, folks. Watch this part of the video. There's a certain part of the video that is impressive right there. Look at that. Look at how the sword is interacting. Look at the physics. Look at that collision. That is really, really nice. That is the one thing that I saw in this video where I was like, okay, maybe this guy isn't bullshitting. You know, maybe this guy is serious. There we go. There's the murder simulator factor, which I was doing. Oh, man, did you see that? When I was playing Pavlov, I somehow lost my gun. I was able to get access to a knife, and I had to go into straight psycho mode and just try to kill people with a knife. And you know what? I got to tell you, I don't believe in that video game violence causes real life violence, but I'm a little bit concerned, like 20 years into the future, how first-person violence, will this affect us? Like first-person straight-up murder and mayhem. Look at that. Look at him pulling that sword out. You know, look at the blood splatter that is on the sword. Is this going to start to affect us, guys? I never thought that I would go into a violence in video games talk, but I've never seen this trailer. This is the first time I'm watching this trailer. And supposedly, you know, the melee combat in this game is supposed to just be oh my God, right into the forehead. No, he didn't. Yeah, this is definitely for Gorn lovers. If you really like Gorn, but you want more realism, more realistic humans to impair with your spears, your battle axes, your all kinds of violent daggers and machetes. I mean, it does look very Gornish too. When you look at the background, it's very much gladiator time. You're fighting women, you're fighting men. The collision, you know, that's the real key here. When swords hit swords, when sword hits wood, you know, how, when sword hits shield, you know, when battle axe hits shield. Whoever really figures this out really, really well, look at this. We're seeing a little bit of how they developed it. Yeah, so this is a pretty cool trailer right here. I'm so glad I thought of it. So glad I thought of putting this. Tom Lloyd is saying Gorn and Superhot has a baby. Yeah, a little bit. So this is where the trailer starts over. Yeah, see, I never saw this trailer until just now. Didn't know that this would be the poster child for violence in video games, because it really could be. Okay, let's check out chat here. Let's see. We got people talking about, of course, Standout and all of that. Tom Lloyd says, I just hold my Samsung controllers together and they work like a stock. Of course, we were talking about the rifle stocks. Tom Lloyd says, this game looks like Superhot, but with more than 2 colors. I think he's talking about this Blade and Sorcery game here. If the weight of the axe has a simulated weight somehow, this would be even more impressive. Yeah, I mean, for that, you're actually going to need you'd have to have different controllers. We almost need a VR system to come out where you get a box and it comes with all these freaking crazy attachments that are like standard attachments, like tennis racket, sword, you know, and so it would have the weight and all of that. It would have a perfect handle, and then you just snap the controller right on top of it or something, you know, and it would come with a million different attachments. Paradise Decay says, I don't think I could kill the sexy ladies. Well, you put a dagger right in her forehead, she's not as sexy as she used to be. But yeah, it's going to be weird to be in first person, because see, what a trailer like this cannot convey to a VR newbie is the kind of sensations that you have when physical bodies come at you. And if you have no framiness, no hitchiness, no jitteriness, if everything is running nice and smooth, and you have a physical body approaching you that really looks 3D, it really looks like it's occupying space, and then now you are going to brutally murder that physical object. Because what do you guys think, though? Seriously, I mean, I'm not joking. What do you guys really think about violence and VR? The combination, when are we going to get to a point where like this is going to actually legitimately be a problem? I think normal people, normal upstanding citizens could probably play these types of things. It's not going to be a problem. But there's some real weirdos out there. There really are some real weirdos. And when they start playing stuff like this, that's when you kind of wonder, will they lose, you know, because this stuff is just going to get more and more photoreal. But I guess really what the big deal with this game here is the collision detection, the melee. That's supposed to be the big deal. So like when that wood hit that sword, it's really, how will that feel? How will the rumble work? You know, does it have some good haptic feedback? Okay, back to chat. Dr. Freeman says, definitely has promise for the melee standard. Fluke Rogi says, I got the theme from the old 8-16-bit Barbarian game in my head now. Oh, is that like a Golden Axe or something? Temujin Gaming says, this looks really impressive. Yeah, at first when I watched the first 20 seconds of this and I saw this and see how the arms are kind of like jittering all over the place, that's not impressive. But what was really impressive, like, it seems like, I don't know, is it framey or something? Like stuff is like flashing on the screen kind of janky style, like that sphere, when it's saying spear. So some of it, like his arm is like tweaking out over there. Some of it is a bit janky, but when that sword and the axe, the interaction of this sword and axe, this is the money shot right here. I'll tell you guys when the money, right about, yeah, look at that. Look at that. Okay, that's the money shot. That is the money shot. That is where everybody says, okay, pre-ordered, because we want to see physics that work that good in VR, because we don't see it that often. That's why Gorn is so damn good. Tom Lloyd says the only problem is you'd hit people and objects, maybe Nerf attachments. Yeah, well, I mean, if you're going to have a sword, you don't have the full-length sword, but you have a sword handle, and then you have the weight of the sword, and then you don't... Same thing with a baseball bat. Like, did you guys ever see that one video where they put a Vive tracker on the top of a baseball bat? Like, that's a little bit ridiculous. Why not have just the baseball bat handle have the weight, the typical weight of a baseball bat, but only have it be this long, and you have the Vive tracker up here? You don't need to have a full-length baseball bat with a Vive tracker on the end of it. Now, I know the Vive tracker is kind of oversized, and so it actually fits perfectly on a baseball bat, but that just kind of illustrates it's too damn big. The Vive trackers should be like 50% their current size. T-Dub says, psychos will be psychos no matter what. I agree with that, but this is catnip for psychos, okay? This is the kind of thing that a psycho, if he spends all day stabbing beautiful ladies in their foreheads, that's questionable. What's the name of this title again? This is it Blade and Sorcery? It's all over the Vive and the Oculus subreddit, you know. I believe there's another YouTuber that, you know, was kind of pimping it. I didn't want to give it a lot of credit yesterday because I kind of thought it was a YouTuber just trying to pump up his channel. But actually watching this video, like legitimately, there does seem to be some value here. Legitimately, let's see Blade and Sorcery is the unofficial name for this game right now. And I don't believe it is on Steam yet. I don't believe there's a page for this on Steam. But I do think the violence angle is interesting. It really is. Tom Lloyd says, I hit my walls with controllers, so anything with weight will knock out little kids. Yeah, I mean, if you do have weight, that is an issue for sure. Somebody swinging a controller at a very high rate of speed and smacking someone else in the head, that is a concern. Tom Lloyd says the deep web is catnip for crazies. This is super G-rated in comparison. Yeah, that is true. And I love the word catnip. You actually stole one of my phrases. I like catnip. Kaluthu Gamer says, it looks like the jank of the arms at the beginning is maybe coming from the rotation and orientation of the hands. I love Gorn, but you grab certain items sometimes and the hand orinates all odd. Yeah, you know, I noticed last night I was playing Marvel Powers United VR, and you guys know how I've raved about like Spider-Man, right? Looking at your Spider-Man arms. And I was looking at my Spider-Man arms, and then I moved my arm like this, and the elbow was completely busted. Like the tracking of the elbow and the upper arm was just completely off. From my elbow to my hand, that was done right. And so, yeah, when you have inverse kinematics, it is a concern there. Will Tesler says, how do my real hands not just phase through objects? Hybrid Energy is checking in. What up, Hybrid? Nice to see you. Bird Person. I'm still waiting for them to finish Hover Junkers. Yeah, a lot of people, and everybody's waiting for the guy that's developing Vanishing Realms to finish Vanishing Realms. Both of those, I believe, launched the day the HTC Vive launched, and there should be a moratorium on early access. There really should. I really believe 2 years. Like, you should, like, whatever date you go into early access, you have 2 years, and then you got to come out of early access, and you got to, that's my thought there. But anyway, guys, why don't we switch over to something else, because a new VR game has arrived on the scene. It is supposedly coming December 2018. It looks pretty good, and I'm going to go ahead and throw it on right now. And so this is Titan Arena VR, and there is a Steam page for this. It has a date of December 1st, which might be placeholder. But supposedly this is coming December of this year. Titan Arena VR. I have a few little GIFs of this that I have sequenced together along with a couple of screenshots. So that's what we're checking out in the video window right now. And you can obviously see this Colossus robot creature. It looks like you're climbing up the side of it. So yeah, kind of Shadow and Colossus maybe I don't know actually what the idea is with this game. Maybe you're trying to like defeat these gigantic robots and you're starting off on the ground and it's shooting crazy lasers at you. It has its own drones. I don't know. If anybody else wants to chime in about Titan Arena VR, all I've seen is a few of these GIFs really quick. I saw an announcement on, I believe, both the Vive and the Rift subreddit. Let me see if I can find that thread here. And, yeah, anytime I want to find a specific thread, I never can find it. I don't know why it works like this. But yeah, Titan Arena VR. Let me bounce over to the Steam page for it and see what other information I can get off of that. But yeah, that's kind of, this is something that we're going to be doing on this show. When we do a daily show, is games we've never heard before are going to come out of the woodwork, and then we could take a quick look at them and kind of see how it works. And so yeah, this is being developed by Lightbound Studios. It does have this December 1st date. Now, if you go to the Steam page, there's a different video here that might be showing a little bit more stuff. I'm going to bounce over to, I'm going to go to YouTube and see if there's a YouTube page for Lightbound Studios, because maybe I could grab this trailer. I always try to grab the official trailer. That way I'm not hyping other people's YouTube channels up. I don't know why. I guess I shouldn't really care. Let's see, Lightbound Studio, I believe. Lightbound Studios. Sometimes you can't find, oh, Titan Arena Kickstarter trailer. Hell yeah. So I will go ahead and grab this trailer, and through the power of 4K video downloader, I can go ahead and throw it in there, and it's just a minute or two and we will have it on the screen, hopefully, if everything works out well here. But yeah, there's some additional gameplay footage. So yeah, Titan Arena, I guess it had a Kickstarter for it. So still waiting for 4K video downloader to start the process of grabbing that video. So usually these videos will like pop in like super quick. Everything's good. So let me go ahead and check out chat. Let's see what people are talking about in chat. Okay, everybody's talking about Marmite again, which we talked about a little bit yesterday. I said maybe the USA equivalent would be Miracle Whip. I don't know if it's kind of like a mayonnaise type spread, but that was my thought process on that. Tom Lloyd, talking about this Titan game, he says, not my cup of tea as far as this Titan game. I like mech games, but realistic types like the old one they had for Xbox called Chrome Hounds. Yeah, a lot of people really loved Chrome Hounds. And if you want to go for an even older one that was on Xbox, what was like the original Xbox Live game on the original Xbox? Was it like mech? God, I forget what it was called, but there was a mech game on the old Xbox, like the first on Xbox Live. It was kind of a mech game. But yeah, Chrome Hounds, a lot of people love Chrome Hounds. We do have Vox Machine, which is, I think, supposed to be coming in like August or September. So we do have Vox Machine to look forward to. Yeah, so that's interesting. Oh, I did get the Kickstarter trailer. Cool. Okay, so just a second here. I'll be able to throw that in, and we can check out that trailer and see, does it look a lot better? Is it pretty much the same thing? Let's check it out. And I'll add a little bit of sound here. You know, the funny thing about this game footage right here, it actually is very similar to Marvel Powers United VR in terms of like shooting things and grabbing them, because I was Spider-Man and all I pretty much did was use my webs to like grab things that were flying, slam them together, like that just happened right there. And then I would get the electricity power up and I was like shooting guys with electrified webs, and it was very similar to that. And then, so really what that kind of looks like, it looks like this is pretty much a run-of-the-mill wave shooter. You're on the ground, you're a foot soldier on the ground, you're going to be battling a lot of flying drones, you're going to be battling these like spider-like creatures. Everything is very robotic, it appears. You're in these arenas, and then you have to battle the big boy. You know, you have to battle some of these different colossus. So it's kind of, yeah, it's like an arena thing. So it's probably like this futuristic sports thing that is happening on some planet. And I don't know, it might be pretty cool. The sound better be really good. I really hope it has really good 3D sound. But this gameplay of grabbing enemies, slamming them together, I know from Marvel Powers United VR that can get old after about 10 minutes. And oh my God, we'll have to talk a little bit more about Marvel Powers United VR a little bit later, because man, the more I like certain things about that game, but oh my goodness, monotonous is probably the most accurate word that you can use to describe Marvel Powers United VR. As much as I like certain aspects of it, and the $40 price is just wrong in my opinion, but probably very necessary, because if they were to sell it for 20, well, all that money is just going to Marvel, because Marvel is easily getting 20 bucks for every that's why it's 40 bucks is the Marvel license. This does not have a Marvel license. This will probably be maybe $19.99, maybe $24.99. This is Titan Arena VR from Lightbound Studios. Okay, so one quick check of chat before we bounce off of this. Dave D says, now that you have me looking at the arms, I would almost rather have hands only, like most games. Oh, is that the Spider-Man you're talking about? Tom Lloyd, yeah, we're talking about the catnip. Oh, I'm way back in chat. My bad. Okay, let's go back here. Paradise Decay says, we have Hellfire. Oh, Fluke was saying, does anybody remember Crazy Ivan on PlayStation 1? Yeah, I remember waiting for Crazy Ivan to come out on PlayStation 1, and Tinka, and a lot of these games that I think were made by like Psygnosis and stuff. But yeah, it does look a little bit like that. And Paradise did say, hey, we do have Hellfire, and Hellfire is pretty good, and it is free. Archangel Hellfire. So anyway, that is this game, Titan Arena VR. One thing I wanted to get into real quick today before we bounce, I mean, not that we're bouncing out of here, not that the show is over or anything, but one thing I do want to get into real quick is a little bit of Magic Leap. And so what I have here, so there's some stuff that is going on behind the scenes right now in regards to Magic Leap. Magic Leap is imminent. It is very much imminent. This could happen really at any time. Now, the rumors are that at SIGGRAPH 2018, which I believe is like August 26 or something like that, that is when Magic Leap is going to go live. But we have a lot of images, a lot of various Magic Leap images and little video snippets that have kind of leaked out, or maybe been strategically leaked or whatever. They're not really that impressive, but it does give us a little bit of an inside look at this product that is arriving in the very near future. So this little GIF that's on the screen right now is a biplane that is kind of flying around in the room. Graphically, okay, this is an incredibly low resolution little video, and so I don't know that we can get a lot there. Now here is your hand actually selecting things. This is a little GIF that terms and conditions, support, privacy policy, blah, blah, blah. Here is a Magic Leap app that is going to be usable on iPhones and Androids. This is just a little, like, I don't know if these are like renders, like kind of examples. This is this Magic Leap tree. You can see the Magic Leap tree on the table. You can see all that stuff over there. And then that soccer game is also being displayed. Here we have this white background. You can see that animal down there, lots of stuff going on. Here we got some rendered robots with a gun in your hand, looking a little bit like Dr. Groordbort's. There's that tree again. You can see the soccer game over there, and you can see the gallery over there. But none of that is all going to fit in your field of view, right? And then here's this car that is driving around on the walls. It's very similar to the little biplane that we saw. And the thing that you got to understand about all of this stuff is that this is just like some developer type stuff. So we're not seeing yet the stuff that is supposed to tempt the average consumer to really want to jump into this. Now remember, folks, we do have things like Star Wars. You know, we have stuff like Star Wars. Lucasfilm has a deal. Disney has a deal with Magic Leap. There's going to be some stuff that is going to tempt people. Trust me, there has to be. Why are all these why would Lucasfilm sign up with them? Why would all these companies sign up with them? So there is going to be some stuff. Okay, this screen right here has all media and it's showing like photos and videos. That's the biplane flying around. But yeah, a lot of this stuff is coming out. We're getting a little bit of a taste of the UI for Magic Leap, like when we're in the menus and stuff, how it's going to kind of look. And so it's kind of suggesting that this thing is going to be hitting very soon, because all these little things are starting to kind of leak out a little bit. Of course, we do know the last time that Magic Leap had their special live Twitch stream, they did announce that it was releasing summer. The final day of summer is September 22nd, so it's got to come out. You know, August 1st is like a couple of days away, right? Next Wednesday, I think, is it Wednesday or Thursday, is August 1st. So August 1st, right around the corner, we're going to be in the month of August. Maybe Magic Leap is available in the month of August. I have a question for anybody out there. Let's say that Magic Leap somehow is $1,500. Unlikely, extremely unlikely. My prediction is $2,000 or $2,500. But let's just say if this was $1,500, is anybody possibly interested? Now the problem is you really haven't seen a demo other than Dr. Groordbort's that would make you want it, and we don't know what Dr. Groordbort's would actually look like now, you know, running on actual Magic Leap 1 technology. Here's the Wi-Fi connectivity screen, you know, showing you connecting to Wi-Fi, which if you're going to be indoors, you know, yeah, you are going to connect to Wi-Fi. See, there's going to be this AT&T service, which I believe is the 5G thing. So that would be the only reason to get the AT&T service is for 5G, because otherwise everybody's going to use Wi-Fi, and it showed the Wi-Fi selection screen. So Christian Jensen says, I'm not even at $1,200. Not unless I have a lottery win, says T-Dub. Unless you are a developer, you should not be interested in Magic Leap 1. Lethal Weasel VR says, Shaq says it's good, so it must be right. Yeah, but Beyonce said she was unimpressed, so they kind of even each other out. Fluke wrote, Chris Gould, Anthony, do you like Magic Leap? And Fluke says, is water wet? Wet? Yeah, you know, so Chris, here's the deal. I'm not a fanboy about anything except for Magic Leap. And my Magic Leap fanboyism, honestly, is more so I'm a fanboy that I know, like, I personally believe that AR is going to kill it. I really do. I think AR is going to be the mass market thing that we want VR to be. Now, ultimately, VR is going to be when you have 3 or 4 hours to enjoy an entertainment experience in the comfort of your own home, in your own room or whatever. VR is going to rule the day. Okay, for like when it's Saturday night and you want to watch, like normally Saturday night you might rent a really good Blu-ray movie, like a big Blu-ray movie. You watch it at 8 o'clock at night or 9 o'clock at night. you know, and instead of that is going to be having an incredible VR experience where you're the star of the movie. And that's going to be how it's going to be in the evening time and when you're kicking back and enjoying yourself. But for the rest of the day, it is going to be AR. AR is literally, it's going to replace all of our smartphones. All these smartphones that we carry around are going to go bye-bye, or they're going to be connecting to AR glasses. And basically AR, we're going to be living with AR for the majority of the day. And I think AR is going to be a really big deal. So I'm interested in HoloLens. I'm interested in Magic Leap. I think there's a lot of interesting things that could happen with AR. Still love VR, but yeah, I don't know, you know. And speaking of HoloLens, I actually have a really cool HoloLens video to show you guys real quick. Let me bounce over and show you guys this quick little HoloLens video, because you want to talk about, now if we could see stuff like this. Okay, so this is OctoSense. Now they're working with the Microsoft HoloLens, and check out this mixed reality spaceship that's like flying around this guy's apartment. It's a little bit jittery, but look at how cool that looks. Like that's what we thought this is what we thought Magic Leap was going to look like. It says footage shot directly through Microsoft HoloLens mixed reality headset using OctoSense technology. So what does that mean? Is this like some add-on thing that you got to use? What is OctoSense technology? But anyways, that looks pretty damn good. That's kind of like what we thought Magic Leap would look like, but instead we're seeing these incredibly cartoony, simplistic, super low polygonal stuff from Magic Leap. We're not really seeing this from Magic Leap. Could this be HoloLens 2? That would be interesting. You know, because I know Microsoft, you got to admit, Microsoft has to be a little bit jealous of all of the attention that Magic Leap is getting when Microsoft has had this HoloLens thing out for so many years, and it's kind of flown under the radar, but people still have this hype on Magic Leap. Or maybe I'm the only one with the hype on Magic Leap. Maybe most people, the hype left when they saw the Golem and they thought, oh no, this is Magic Leap. This is disappointing. Okay, quick check of chat real quick. Jay Benson says, no way that is through the HoloLens. I used HoloLens and it doesn't look like that. But Jay, this is HoloLens 2.0, man. It's got a 70-degree field of view. They doubled up on the field of view. It's got a much higher resolution. That is HoloLens 2.0 using special technology from OctoSense. That's what we got to hope. Lethal Weasel VR says, when AR is good, it will just merge with VR. Yeah, I mean, VR is your living room. You know when you go to your living room with your big 4K TV? That's VR. That is what VR is going to replace. When you go to your living room and you want to watch a big 4K TV and you want to have your 7.1 surround sound and you're really trying to enjoy something, that is what VR does, okay? But AR is for everything else. And how many times are we on a little monitor here, we're on a phone here, we're on a tablet here? Well, that's going to be AR. So all of you folks out there that kind of don't want AR and kind of just wish this whole AR thing would die, you're going to have to deal with AR. Now, the good news is, if you really want to hate AR, you can probably avoid it for about another 7 or 8 years, but you're not going to be able to avoid it after that. It's going to be everywhere. It's going to be ubiquitous, and you're going to have to deal with it, but you're going to be okay with it because it's going to be so good that you're going to be like, what was I ever thinking? So I am interested in AR. Jay Benson says, oh, HoloLens 2.0, that would be dope. Yeah, no, I'm just joking. I doubt this is HoloLens 2.0. It says footage shot directly through Microsoft HoloLens mixed reality headset using OctoSense technology. We don't really know what that means. Chris Gold. Anyway, I would have to tidy my living room. Yeah, that is the bad news of AR is you're gonna. You know what? You know, one thing I've noticed about VR though is I vacuum clean this room way the heck more now with VR than I ever would have before. And that's because, you know, I'm walking around. I have this rug over here that I play VR on. It's kind of like a 7 by 5 foot little rug that I stand, and I have it the middle of my play space right there, and I'll walk around in this rug, and I have to vacuum that thing like every single day. Part of my problem is I have a big fat cat that likes to lay everywhere and get her hair all over everything. Let's see here. Hussein X says, I prefer VR over AR, but I do like AR. We have not seen legit AR yet. We just haven't seen it yet. AR, we've all heard the news that AR is like 4 years behind VR. And so that's kind of proven to be true. But I think there's more money being thrown at AR right now than there is at VR. I think people really understand that AR is without question going to replace the smartphone. It's just a matter of when and, you know, how quickly can that happen? How small can you get the glasses? How does all of that work out? Charles Van Nolan, the cool thing about Magic Leap's light-filled display tech is that you can put them right up against your eyeball without any lenses optics, but they require rendering many images. Which means you need a high-performance device to back it up. Chris Gold says, I play VR in a living room full of junk and 3 dogs and a wife. Not advised. Yeah, the 3 dogs would be my biggest problem, because I don't like... Well, my cat has kind of figured out that when I have the AR headset, she should probably wander off to the perimeter and lay down. But my dog, you know, he'll... Like, if my dog's in here, he'll just be wandering around. What we really do need trackers on our pets. And, you know, 20 years from now, the tracker that they put in your pet, in your pet's neck in case they get lost, and then the, you know, dog control or whatever finds your dog. They scan the little chip in your pet's neck and say, hey, your dog's here. Come pick up your dog. Eventually, that's going to also be tracked for VR. And so all animals will have tracking built in. And so, you know, for VR and AR, our animals will just straight up be tracked. And they're going to be used in game experiences. I really think they could do that, especially more AR when you're walking around your house. Paradise Decay says, at Chris Gold, I picture your wife feeding you with a spoon while you play. Okay. Yeah, so anyways... We did have a little bit of Magic Leap footage just of like kind of their UI and stuff. This is some HoloLens thing that I happened to run into randomly. We did have the Blade and Sorcery footage. The only thing I got left, guys, in terms of my pre-show prep is something called HTC Vive Designer. And I really don't know what this is, but this was really high on the Vive subreddit right before I started the show. And I think it's also relatively high on the Oculus Rift subreddit. And this seems to be some type of, you have to do like photogrammetry of your room. And then you use a VR headset and you could like make changes to your room. It's something called VR Designer or something like, so, you know, this guy's, that's cool. That actually is freaking cool. That is really, you know, my wife would love this. I didn't see the painting part. Yeah, my wife would love this because she'd be like, well, let's see what this room looks like with this color. Oh, the floors? Oh, hell no. This is going to be used in like remodeling of kitchens and bathrooms. Now, here's the problem with this, folks. The problem is you could teleport. That's around your own room. Okay, here's the problem. Like, all of this looks super, super incredibly cool. However, the catch is you got to do some incredible photogrammetry first. Then once you have incredible photogrammetry done, then you can do all this fancy stuff. And you can change your floors, and you can change your ceilings, and you can change your walls. You know, So yeah, I mean, if you can photogrammetry your living room flawlessly and all your bedrooms and your kitchen and all of that, then you could use this tool to kind of reimagine exactly how it's going to look. You can change posters. You can change the color of a cup on your table. This is pretty freaking dope. I see why this was upvoted so high on the Vive subreddit and the Oculus Rift subreddit as well. So yeah, does look pretty cool. Yeah, so in chat, they're just seeing this video right now, and T-Dub says, yes, it's the prep time, but it looks impressive. Chris Gould is saying, it is a serious point that needs to be considered for VR adoption, though. People play in different contexts, and this needs to be taken into account. That's talking about some other comment that I wasn't paying attention to. But, yeah, I don't know. I believe this video right here is pretty impressive. Okay, so I'm going to bounce over to the Vive subreddit and click on this thread. See so this is called HTC Vive Designer. It was posted by Mike317. Don't really have any extra information about this. But yeah, inside this thread, these people are talking about, yeah, you do have to do all this photogrammetry to make all of this happen. But that is pretty freaking cool, though. You know, that is pretty freaking cool. Okay, so let me go back to the regular Vive subreddit, see if we have any new information that has been popping up. And, you know, it is Sunday, so this is where things go down the hill as far as, like, news breaking. Did the controls change in the final release of Budget Cuts? That's one of the threads on there right now. Let's see. And yeah, I'm not really seeing any kind of news. One of the news stories that I have seen is there's a special branch of Steam VR that has been added. It's the previous build for people that are having serious problems with the most recent Steam VR update. So there is this other branch that you can add on if you're having a lot of problems in Steam VR, because a lot of people have been talking about having a lot of problems in VR. But yeah, not much going on there. Let me bounce over to the Oculus Rift subreddit real quick. Let's get a real quick check. This is where they're talking about Titan Arena, that new game that I showed you, supposedly coming in December. There's one thread that I find a little bit interesting, and this thread is replacement Rift has significantly improved image quality. And this guy is saying that he believes that there might be new Rifts that look better than the old Rifts. So here's what this guy is saying. I just received a brand new Rift to replace my sadly deceased launch Rift, not expecting any changes beyond the new one works. I was rather shocked by just how much better the new one looks. Blacks are much deeper. There is less visual noise. The two panels are a better color match. One panel in my old Rift had slightly better blacks than the other, which was annoying in dark scenes. And most notably, the God rays are sharply reduced. They're still a bit more noticeable than in the Go, but it's very close. Have Oculus actually changed things between launch and now, or was my first unit just problematic? That's very interesting. I can tell you this, if they like did a minor upgrade to the Rift and never told anybody, and that information, like if people really discover that this is the case, there will be a lot of people buying brand new Rifts and selling off their old one, because a lot of people, they want to have, you know, because a lot of people are probably assuming here, we know that the Oculus Go has considerably better optics than the Oculus Rift. And so it's possible, it's absolutely plausible that Oculus could improve the optics of the regular Rift, especially if CV2 is really coming in 2020. If they have the ability to significantly improve the optics of the regular Rift right now, why not do that? If they're waiting for CV2 in 2020 and they can make some slight upgrades on the Rift. Now, would they announce that? Would they call it the Rift 1.5? Would people be aware of it? Or would they just stealth release it? People start getting the Rifts and maybe a couple of hardcore types notice the difference. That would be super interesting. So that's That's interesting right there. I'm going to go ahead and change this game trailer because we've been running it for forever and a day. And that will get boring. So let's try going somewhere else. I'm going to put it on this random Oculus guy. Hold on, I have to rescale this. I was making these images a while back, you know, for the regular show that I used to do where I would show, a lot of times I would just show pictures, right? And I thought, well, why don't I make my pictures look a little bit better, you know, where it zooms in like this? So like when I'm doing all my still images, instead of that, I could have all of them have like these, like, you know, this Ken Burns fade. And I spent all this time making all these that do this and then never really wanted to use it because it just, in practice, it just didn't work right and it took too long. But yeah, this is random Oculus guy. Okay, let me check chat real quick. I need to sip some water is what I really need to do. Okay, I'm going to mute my microphone for a sec. Could you imagine if I never unmuted and was just like doing the rest of the show muted? Okay, Ray Della Torre says, I think VR is more for gaming than AR. Well, VR is more a natural for gaming. You know, just look at your phone. Your phone, you can play games and you can do games on your phone, but it's not really meant for that. And so AR is closer to the smartphone. VR is closer to the Blu-ray player and the video game console and the TV kind of a thing. I really look at it as your living room versus everything else. I think VR is going to replace the normal living room situation. AR is going to replace all the other stuff. Paradise Decay says, if they added Go lenses to the new Rift, that would be amazing. Yeah, see, here's the deal. You got to get the Rift in the Marvel Powers United bundle. That's the one that has the new lenses. That, of course, will be the rumor that everybody will hear. And you'll be going to Best Buy. Okay, let me see the box. Is it the Marvel Powers United box? Yeah, that's the one with the new lenses. Hell yeah, man. That could be a little rumor. Oculus has a mirror correction strategy in there, but it actually makes the mirror worse on a bunch of headsets. That's Charles Van Nolan. Airman929565 checking in. He's saying you would think they would be bragging about it, probably talking about if Oculus really did improve the lenses. Fluke Rogi is saying at Paradise Decay, indeed. I know a lot of people don't want a mid-generation upgrade, but I'd happily take a Rift with a slightly higher res and the Go lenses for a sensible price. Yeah, but Fluke, do you believe that this is a stealth thing? Now, you're talking about a slightly higher res. Don't know that they would do that. But what if they could just simply change the optics? If that was nothing, you know, they just change the optics. Maybe the Mura is decreased a little bit. Maybe the blacks are a little bit blacker, but not actual resolution jump. That would be interesting. Simple XPL, especially since at the beginning of 2017, they promised no new hardware for 2 years. So they should stick to it. Ah, that's interesting. So in the beginning of 2017, they really promised this. I'm not denying that. They probably did. So that would probably suggest then that we wouldn't get Santa Cruz until sometime in 2019. That would be 2 years later, right? Early 2019. So maybe spring for Santa Cruz and then November for CV2. U.S. Park Talk. Next version of Rift needs diopter adjustments. What exactly is diopter adjustments? T-Dub, the God rays are a pain, but only on very dark backgrounds. At least that's what I found on my release CV1. Charles Van Nolan, LOL, I was waiting for you to forget to unmute. Yeah, that's the danger. That's the danger of mute. That's why I haven't been screwing around with mute too much. But I'm sure somebody in chat would, well, what if I didn't pay attention to chat for like 20 minutes though? Jay Benson says, I think that dude just had a bad HMD. Yeah, see, he got, oh, I see what you're saying, that his HMD was just kind of jacked up. And so he's just getting a regular Rift, but thinking it's so much better. Yeah, I mean, that's the most likely scenario here. The scenario that they stealth improved the Rift without telling anybody is pretty unlikely. That's something Sony likes to do. If they did a stealth upgrade, you'd suddenly have a lot of returns to places like Amazon as people tried to get the one with the upgraded specs. You absolutely would have that. So probably, I think if something like that was going to happen, there would be a drought season, kind of like what's going on with the HTC Vive standard version. There would be a drought season for a while. They would clear out all of the stock out of all the channels, and then people wouldn't really have that that opportunity there. Hi, Anthony. It's Simplex from PL. Had to add PL since Simplex was already taken. Simplex. What? Yeah, you know, I'm going to murder a lot of these names that are in chat. That's just going to, like Fluke Rogi, I pronounce that like 5 different ways. So I will murder all kinds of names in chat. That's just simply going to be a reality. Okay, so we've been looking at Oculus Head for a little bit too long. Let's go ahead and change Oculus Head real quick. Let's go with the Uribe 12-second fade. Yeah, the Brendan Uribe 12-second fade. This is where we zoom right in on his forehead, his widow's peak. Okay, real quick. I'm going to bounce over to Upload VR. Actually, you know what? PSVR subreddit. Haven't checked out PSVR subreddit. Let's take a quick look. Again, Sunday, probably nothing going on, but take a quick little look-see. Yeah, Sundays for live shows are kind of lame. One of the things that I'm seeing on the PSVR subreddit, I see a lot of comments about Rick and Morty being like totally busted on PSVR and the game basically being broken and it's been broken pretty much since it's released. And what is going on with Alchemy Labs? Because they're a very good developer. It's very weird to think that Rick and Morty would be so broken on PSVR. Has anybody in chat played Rick and Morty on PSVR? Is it really that broken? Because that's what I hear a lot. The Persistence AIM support possibly being investigated, but nothing promised. Forget about aim support. Give it move controller support. You want to talk, dude, the Persistence would improve considerably, in my opinion, if it added a regular move controller support. But the problem is like the thing that's in your right hand, it's kind of just like this. And so if they added move controller support, you have to be able to actually move it, which means they have to like animate it and like do a lot of extra stuff with it, which would add a hell of a lot of work. And so that's probably why that usually is not going to happen. But supposedly Megaton Rainfall is actually adding move support after the fact. Remember, folks, Megaton Rainfall is arriving on, I believe, August 9th to the Oculus Rift and to the HTC Vive. And the PSVR version is supposedly going to get move controller support, but I don't know that that is happening on August 9th. And nothing much else here on the PSVR subreddit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and bounce over to Upload VR. We'll see, are there any news stories on a Sunday? And the answer to that question is no, there aren't any news stories on a Sunday because their lead story is hands-on. Arrowborn feels like the ultimate PvP archery game, and I'm pretty sure I talked about that yesterday. So Upload VR, nothing going on over there. Let's bounce over to Road to VR real quick and take a quick check. Road to VR still has that article where they're talking about the Vive wireless adapter with the setup instructions. Did anybody get a chance to read through that and check that out? And again, nothing new on Road to VR either, unless my internet is broken. But you know what? It is Sunday, and this is just kind of how it is. So basically, for the rest of this show, all we could really do is just freestyle. We could talk about any little miscellaneous thing we could want. I'll go ahead and get it off of these fades. I know that's kind of dumb. Let me find some kind of other video thing to throw up on here. Blood and Truth. Why don't I throw a little bit of that on there? You know what we could talk about right now, guys, for a second here? It is 3:05, so we are 1 hour into the show. We're going to be ending the show, you know, within about 15 to 20 minutes here. But I thought, why don't we do this? Everybody in chat, what is your most wanted VR game? A known commodity, a game that is known, that is not currently available. But here's the catch. Stormland, you cannot use Stormland. It's too obvious. So let's take Stormland out of the equation. What is your single most wanted VR game that could be coming this year, or maybe it's delayed a little bit, it's coming in 2019, but it's got to be a known commodity, a real game, not Half-Life 3. So yeah, Halo, no, it's got to be. Oh, Simplex says Blade and Sorcery. He's going to go with that incredible demonstration of the axe and the sword, looking super cool. But what is your guys' most wanted game? I kind of have to think about it, because Stormland is absolutely my most wanted. I will say that this Blood and Truth with this demo playing right here, this is one of my most wanted. Astrobot is one of my most wanted. Transference, baby. You know, that's up there. Honestly, I would have to literally go to vrgamerankings.com and look at, let me look at the Oculus top 40 most wanted just to see, because that will have pretty much all the Oculus exclusives, and then also a lot of the stuff that is coming to Vive as well. And let me think, like, what are the big games that are out there, you know, that are headed our way? Obviously, Firewall. I mean, if you're a PlayStation VR guy, you're super hyped on Firewall, I'm sure. And there might be some people right now that their most wanted game is coming out in a couple of days, and that is Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice, coming out in a couple of days. Some people might say that's their most wanted game. Okay, here's one that we forgot about, folks. Defector. What about Defector from Twisted Pixel? It's still supposed to be this fall. We got Half-Life 2 VR mod. Yeah, right. When are we ever going to see that? Firmament by Cyan Incorporated. Those are the guys that made Abduction. And this is more of like, this is a real VR game. I think this one is going to be a little bit more native to VR than Abduction was. So that's exciting. Vacation Simulator is still out there. Of course, Torn. It's coming out on August 28th. That one has some hype. Space Junkies. You know, a lot of people, I mean, obviously, me and Space Junkies don't get along. Nah, that's a whole other thing there. Windlands 2 is still floating out there. Creed Rise to Glory. Creed Rise to Glory, the one thing about that game, I know there's probably not a lot of people that are like, oh man, I really want a boxing game. Like, that's the game that I really want. But one thing about Creed Rise to Glory is wherever it's demoed, the people that came out of the demo, they have very good things to say about it. Resident Evil 7, what about that? Could that be your most wanted game? Even though it's, you know, who knows if it's ever coming, ever. Planetrism is a game. District Steel, Blind, Alvo, Scraper, Zone of the Enders 2, Meta World, if that wasn't permanently delayed. Babylon Battle Royale, you know, so there's all kinds of games that are coming at some point in the future. Curious to see what your guys' most wanted are. Let me go ahead and bounce over to chat, see what people are saying. Okay, so Fluke Rogie says Defector, maybe. Yeah, you know, Defector looks like it would be fun to screw around with, and I'm sure I'll enjoy my time in Defector, but I'm not banking on Defector being that game that is going to carry me for months. That's the thing. We don't have very many games that will like really carry you. Like the Talos Principle VR, that is a game that can carry you. Skyrim VR, Fallout 4 VR, those games will carry you for months. Like if you really get into it those games will really, really work for you. Some of these other games, it's like, yeah, Defector would be very fun to get into that, but I could see it being, relatively short. Hellblade, there's Chris Gould, his most wanted game maybe is a game that's coming out in a couple of days. Same thing with Hybrid Energy. Hellblade coming out in a couple of days. It'll be super interesting to see, is Hellblade really that legit? Paradise Decay loves it. We know that. Stephen McDougall, Zero Caliber. Yeah, what about Zero Caliber? Cthulhu Gamer is talking about Visage or Allison Road if they ever get finished. Christian says, don't jinx the Half-Life 2. It's a touchy subject. Well, yeah, it is a touchy subject if somebody, if there was a serious thing that happened with the developers. That super sucks, actually. I forgot about that again. Let's see, blah, blah, blah. Jay Benson said, did anyone try the Tomb Raider VR portion? Yeah, no, I didn't try that. I know that's available on PSVR. I know Steve tried that out. Ray Delatorre says they have to make a real football game. Did you ever play 2MD VR football? Definitely not a real football game, but fun. But yeah, we really do need a real football game. And I think the way that I would do a real football game is tabletop style. So the perspective that we have for Blaze Rush, like when you're playing Blaze Rush, you should be sitting down with a controller and it's like the world is laid out in front of you, little miniature things moving around. That's how I think a football game should be. Like you're a giant god that is looking at a football field and you see all the little players running around. That's how they should make. I'm talking American football, Ray. I'm not sure if you're talking about soccer. You might be talking about soccer. VR Spry Guy, I finally caught the show live and we're just about to end the show in probably the next 5 minutes or so. Charles Van Nolan, I haven't played No Man's Sky yet, and with all the updates, it sounds like it has redeemed itself quite a bit, so I'm excited about a VR version. We always hear rumors about the VR version. I don't think it could happen on PSVR because I don't think it could run on the vanilla PlayStation 4, a VR version. I think that's absolutely impossible. And so I think that would complicate a VR version because I think Sony, their relationship with that developer, could a VR version just bypass PlayStation VR entirely and go straight to the Vive and Rift? There might be some issues there. Hybrid Energy says Nathy has new gameplay of Hellblade looking great. Roba Awesome VR, Pixel Ripped. Pixel Ripped is coming out in a handful of days, and you know what, guys? I am embarrassed to say that I have barely scratched the surface of Pixel Ripped. I have some family members that are staying with me right now, and it's making me find time to play all these games very difficult. I do have the time, of course, to come on here and be live with you guys because you guys are my homies, and I got to come on here every day and do that. Dr. Freeman is saying the Half-Life universe is cursed. Pretty much. Hybrid Energy says Half-Life 2 VR was coming along, Simplex. Yeah, something bad happened to slow development. That's unfortunate. I always had a suspicion, this has nothing to do with somebody on the team having a health problem or anything like that, but I always had a suspicion that Valve secretly has plans for Half-Life 2 VR and that these other people were making the mod and they didn't want to say, oh, we got some plans, so you should stop making the mod. And so I've always thought maybe in the background, I've always kind of wondered, would that Half-Life 2 VR mod ever see the light of day? Because maybe Valve themselves actually has a plan. Maybe they have a handful of programmers that they threw in a back room and said, look, make a really awesome conversion of Half-Life 2 to VR. And then this Half-Life 2 VR mod is being scuttled because of that. I mean, that's a possibility, right? I mean, I don't know that is the possibility. Portal 3 VR. Okay, Paradise, you're cheating because you got to pick a game that is a known commodity. Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know. My game, honestly, I'd probably would say Transference. right now, right here, right now. And I know, yeah, I'm going to have to download Uplay or whatever, right? Ah, I hate that. I hate a store that is tied. Like, you need to have an entertainment platform if you're going to have a store. I don't believe you should be a third party and have a store. That's my take on that. So Ubisoft, you should have your own VR headset, and then you can have your own store, or your own AR headset. Then you can have your own store. Same thing with EA and all these other companies. I don't like the idea of having to download Uplay, but I probably will do it for transference. Space Junkies, I mean, everybody loves it. What about Echo Combat? Echo Combat could be your most wanted game. That's the final version of Echo Combat, or a finished version of it, is coming later this year. That's what we've heard, probably November. Twilight Path by Charm Games. That could be a primetime release as well. Evasion by Archiac. You know, there's a lot of stuff that's floating out there. Right now, I think if somebody put a gun to my head and said, wait a minute, hold on, let me go look at PSVR. Because, I mean, PSVR, you do have, of course, Astrobot, which I am super hyped for. You got Firewall, you got Blood and Truth, you got Beat Saber, you got Dreams, you got Star Child, and you got Daracene, or whatever that game is pronounced. So PSVR's got some good stuff as well. But yeah, no, I would say Transference is probably my single most wanted game right here, right now, if we're taking Stormland out of the equation. Stormland is too obvious. Got to take it out of the equation, in my opinion. Okay, last check of chat. Let's see here. Dr. Freeman, do you think the 3 Valve games will be from known IPs or new ones? Well, my only prediction with the Valve games is that one of them is Portal in some way, shape, or form. That is my prediction. I don't know what the other ones will be. Of course, one of them is going to be a card game. How unfortunate that will be. Chris Gould says, Hello Games. I guess maybe he's talking about Meta World VR, maybe? Oh, no. Hello Games is the developer of... Wait, is Hello Games the developer of No Man's Sky? Now I'm all confused. Okay, Simplex is saying Epic Game Launcher. Oh, Epic Game Launcher. Well, I've played Robo Recall. Did that come with like some other software? Because I don't have any other Epic games. Like, I don't have Fortnite or any of that. My kids do. I don't. You know, I don't have that on my PC. Paradise Decay says, actually, Megaton Rainfall. Really? So the Vive or the Oculus version of Megaton Rainfall is your most wanted game. Hey, that's cool. And it's coming on August 9th, so you're going to get it really soon. Wink, wink. Maybe you're already playing it. Wink, wink. Ubisoft Store has been around for 6 years. I think you just need to let it go. Amazingly, somehow I've avoided the Ubisoft Store. Or when I was playing on console, maybe I had signed up for it or something, and... it like got on my console somehow, and then it was just there, and then every time I get a Ubisoft game, like, it just automatically kind of goes into it. I don't know. I did play Eagle Flight. I rented Eagle Flight from Gamefly, and I don't remember any Uplay nonsense of any kind. However, that PS4 that I played it on, my kids would also use that PS4, and they would do, you know, they would download all kinds of things, so they could easily have played like a Rainbow Six or something, and like got Uplay on there somehow. I just personally, I don't believe third parties should have stores. That's my personal opinion. Look, I know they're going to try to do it, because if they can get away with it, sure, every third party is going to want to have their own store. Chris Gould says Dreams should be amazing. Dreams could be like an incredible game that just blows everybody out the water. Everybody kind of gave up on it. Like, it took so long for them to finally make it. So a lot of people probably just aren't even thinking Dreams has a chance. But yeah, Dreams could be incredible. Cthulhu Gamer, Anthony, I don't have family down right now, so hit a brother up with a code for Pixel Ripped, and I'll give you the 20. Simplex PL. I can agree that it's stupid that for some Ubisoft games you launch Steam, which launches Uplay. Yeah, Steam should say, look, if you're going to be on our service, you cannot require no other bullshit. That should be a requirement from Steam. Yeah, Charles Van Nolan. Hello Games equals No Man's Sky. No Man's Ski. Yeah, Hello Games. Yeah, you know what? I'll tell you what, when you do a live show, you can have a brain fart and you can completely forget the name of an obvious developer, an obvious game, all kinds of things. Because when you're doing a show live, sometimes you can just get flustered and be like, oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing. Simplex PL, Fluke Rogi, I do that. I do the same, but if you buy Eagle Flight or Star Trek on Uplay, you get a Steam key. Yeah, now it's all Uplay talk. Forget Uplay. I guess I'm going to have to deal with Uplay when it comes to transference. Either that, you know what I've heard? I don't know if this is possible, but there's got to be some people on PC gamers that hate Uplay and they hate Origin, you know, and have they hacked these games? Have they taken the code of these games and somehow removed Uplay? Now, obviously, we're talking about like an illegal downloaded version of the game, you know, a pirated version of whatever these Ubisoft games are, but removing Uplay out of it. If that was possible, I don't believe in pirating stuff. I really don't. I'm not going to say that I've never pirated anything in my life, because I probably have. And there was a time where maybe I did it way too much, and I kind of regret that. But I don't pirate stuff anymore. But what I would be willing to do is buy transference, like legally pay the money for it, buy it, and then never download it. But instead get the pirated version that has had Uplay stripped away from it. But I don't know if that's possible. I'm wondering if that's possible. And I don't know that I want to jump through a ton of hoops to do all of that either. So that's questionable as well. Fluke Rogi says Valve would never put that demand on Ubi. All they're interested in is their 30%, and Ubi have some pretty big games. Yeah, Chris Gould says, I won't have Origin or Uplay. So Chris, hey man, you're kind of like me. I mean, I'm trying to avoid them. I really am. Transference is very tempting. You know, maybe I'll play Transference on my PSVR, because somehow I played Eagle Flight and I don't remember doing any jumping through any hoops. Chris Gould says, I would pirate EA stuff with no problems. Yeah, I mean, I don't believe in piracy in general though, because I don't know, I kind of have this crazy belief, like I believe that we all, like, you could steal something but you're going to pay for it. Like, I have that weird belief, you know, and you know, it's almost like a religion within itself. You know, you get what's coming to you. There, you, like, nobody gets away with murder. I kind of have that belief. So like, you could pirate a million things, but you're going to pay for it in another way. Is kind of my belief on that stuff. And it's kind of, I've experienced that. Like, I remember back in the days when I maybe was pirating a lot of stuff, and then my car would break down like every other week, and I'd have to replace the radiator. I'd have to replace this. And I used to think to myself, it's kind of coincidence. I'm stealing all this software and these bad things are happening to me. Gee, maybe you don't get away with, yeah, karma. That's Simplex checking in there with karma. Yeah, it's basically karma. You're right, Anthony. It is a crazy belief. Yeah, I know there's people out there that think that is super crazy to really believe that. But anyway, guys, I'm starting to sweat in here because you know what? It is 3:24 p.m. Pacific time. I believe it's 101 degrees here in Sacramento. That light is bombing me with light. That light is bombing me with light. I have regular lights. I have these little baby lights around the perimeter, and it is getting crazy hot in here. So I am going to go ahead and call it. This has been, I believe, episode 162 of the show. Can you guys believe that we've been doing a live show every single day for like 10 or 11 days straight? That's pretty freaking incredible, isn't it? Like, it's, you know, banging these live shows out. And I will be back. Oh, Epic's 9/11 finally uploaded a video. Because, yeah, he said he was coming back. So that's cool to see Epic's back in the mix. So anyway, guys, this will go ahead and do it. Episode 162 of VR Game Rankings. Oh, man, I've got a major announcement. Tomorrow's episode, 11 a.m., not 2 p.m., tomorrow's episode 11 a.m. I'm gonna have to set it up so like the episode will start automatically at 11 a.m. and I'll tweet it out. Tomorrow's episode 11 a.m. Tuesday 11 a.m. Wednesday 11 a.m. Thursday 11 a.m. So starting tomorrow 11 a.m. all the way through, we're gonna try that out. I think it's gonna be a little bit better for me, and we'll see how that works out. But anyways, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Take it easy. Later.